Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, friends. Welcome to the Ashes to Rubies conversational podcast about life in recovery and so much more.
Just a little bit more now and again.
So much more. I forgot to put a coaster.
Oh, no. You have a surprise today that we're picking up, and I guessed it. But I think you're tricky.
This is potentially the first and last time that I will use a new app that someone told me about.
Oh, you have an app?
So there's this app.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've told you about it, but it's called...
I'm Throwing Crap Out app?
It's called Too Good to Go.
And so you're capitalizing on garbage.
No, at the end of the day, the donut shop that didn't sell all their donuts...
What donut shop?
Puts them in the freezer, and then you can buy them for like a third of the price and pick them up in the morning.
Are you suggesting that you have contacted Maverick's Donuts?
Yes.
This is going to be the best day ever.
So if you're listening and you're in the Ottawa area and you're actually listening today on Wednesday, July 20th, is that what day it is today? If you're actually listening today on Wednesday, July 20th, stop by Carlington Booch Brewery and Tasting Room sometime before 3. Well, actually, do you think we'll be there later than 3?
I don't know. But there's going to be donuts.
Stop by because there's going to be some donuts.
Unless I eat them all. So there's going to be donuts for breakfast.
By.
There's going to be donuts for lunch. What kind of donuts?
Please stop by so John doesn't eat them all.
Do you have is there a specified?
You don't get to pick.
I want one of the best things in this world, I would say to date, that I've eaten is the Mavericks. What is it called? Apple fritter. Like if you have not had an apple fritter at Mavericks Donuts, and typically they don't last very long, and I've had them as they are warm.
I had a blueberry fritter when it was warm.
Yeah. Those two.
So this is an app that's trying to help the food waste problem.
But is it helping the food waste problem?
Sure. Because instead of restaurants, like, what are they going to do if they're closing?
Okay, the food waste problem, not the food distribution problem.
Yeah, so this is like food waste. And so it's cheap, and you go on and you can you book it, you pay for it, and then you go pick it up at whatever window of time they gave you. Mm-hmm. So I saw that there's like a hotel downtown that they listed something, but I was like skeptical because it's like breakfast items, but it's listed like original price $21, and it's on sale for like $6.99. And so you come pick up these breakfast items, and it's supposed to be like a good quantity of food. But to me, a hotel breakfast is so overpriced to begin with that you're probably really only giving me what I wouldn't value at more than $6 anyway.
And it would
so your value, you have to think about your value. You have to think about your time to go drive and pick it up. Is it really worth it?
And it would be nice if they could include like food scarcity, not just solving a problem of food wastage, but food scarcity, because that's a big problem in any city in the world. It's like there's more than enough food, but it's not being spread out properly. So that would be a good app.
Tell me more.
There are people in this world like us that already have plenty to eat,
right?
And now we can go get more for cheaper,
right?
But there are people that don't even have cell phones to get this app that live in Ottawa that don't have the food that they need. Not that.
So I'm gonna say there's not a lot of people that don't have cell phones.
That's true. All over the
anymore. World. However, I do very much agree with what you're saying, because the people who are experiencing food scarcity, they don't have often a credit card. That would be the barrier in my mind. The credit card would be the barrier. True. They don't have a credit card. They also don't have organization. Often the organization of like, how do I get this? Like that can be very overwhelming. Logistics and logistics my life is I have all of these challenges and this is very difficult for me. So that's why I very much appreciate there's Bridges has reopened. And so there's organizations in Ottawa where you can get a meal. You could at least get a meal pretty much every day. And so I would love to see more of these restaurants giving.
At the same time, you have to go somewhere.
I know.
So logistically,
yes,
I am excited to get on our way and get donuts. I don't like stoppages when I'm going somewhere, but we will make an allowance.
The good
today.
news is you're not the primary driver anymore, and so it's not always you that has to do the stopping.
It's not that we talked about this in our group conscience that I'm not the primary driver. No. We are both drivers.
No, we no longer have you as our primary driver.
Okay,
it is a shared responsibility.
It's a shared responsibility. Yeah, it's going well, I must say. Especially in the morning.
It's going really well.
Like this morning, I have to call the security company because our alarm keeps going off and off. Like maybe we're being robbed or maybe there's big rats. I have no real idea. But like I got another phone call at 4:30 in the morning and they called me, they called Josh, and then they called the police. And I'm for what reason?
And your phone's on silent.
Yeah, I don't answer my phone. But
so your phone was on silent and they called the police?
I think so. That's their next step. So it's yeah.
Oh dear.
So now on the way to work,
I
can solve some of these problems and eat donuts.
Okay, can you? Okay.
This is going to be the best day of my life. I can already tell.
Wanting to know. Oh, we're going to read. We are reading from. We are going to read today. This one will. Some of you will relate to this one. Wanting to know why the alcoholic drinks, or when sober, why they do what they do, is an itch for which there is no scratch.
No scratch to that itch. Like the wondering why? No, there's no scratch itch.
Some of us never get over trying to figure it out. Since we're not psychiatrists, our researches are bound to end in frustration. Although now we have Google. I don't know if there was Google when this book was written.
Highly doubt it.
So let's accept it as impossible. And also unimportant. What is important and within our God-given powers to figure out is what we are doing that confuses and complicates life for us. What am I doing that confuses and complicates life for me?
So much.
When we discover that and do something to change it, a good many of our troubles will vanish. Mm. Today's reminder: each time I catch myself trying to figure out other people's motives, I'll stop and ask myself, what did I say or do that prompted that action? Why did I react to it as I did? Does what happened make a major difference to me, or am I making something big out of a trifle?
A trifle cake?
Your mom used to make trifle.
Trifle.
Quote, leave off that excessive desire of knowing. Therein is found much distraction. There are many things, the knowledge of which is of little or no profit to the soul.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't profit. So then that would be a tool of denial, really, of like trying to intellectualize and and I think it can go on your people's side of like, why does he drink? Why does she drink? And then, but as the alcoholic, it's the same thing. Like I've asked myself a million times, why am I drinking? Like, why am I acting like this? Why is my behavior like this? Like,
why can't I just drink like a normal person?
Well, no, it just doesn't seem like normal behavior maybe, or it's like, I do this in excess. Like, I think most of us know when we do things in excess and it's like, why do I keep doing this? Why do I, you could do that with anything, right? Whether it's your cell phone time or whether
I want to work out. Why can't I just work out?
Yeah. Like, why am I not doing that? So I think it's a part of trying to intellectualize and keep us in denial. And what I try to do is when I'm working with somebody, I try to lead them into the understanding that they don't know why they drink. Because if you have a reason of why you drink, then that means you can cut that reason out. And what we come to understand is that I'm beyond human help and there's no reason why I drink. Whether it's to celebrate something, it's because I'm sad, because I'm bored, because I just because I'm breathing today. There's so many reasons, but life's going well. Things are on the upswing. I just got a job promotion and all of a sudden I'm drinking again. And then once I start drinking, I can't stop. So it's like, I try to get people to really understand that there is no reason that you're drinking.
Okay. So that could really apply to like any area of our life. And then what? So we're used to trying to figure ourselves out. We're used to, many of us, we've gone to retreats. We've gone to help, books. We read podcasts. We read books. Why do I do this? Why can't I need to understand this better? Like, what's happening here? And so we spend a lot of this time trying to figure out this problem or understand the problem. So then you're saying, if you have a reason, if you can explain it, if you can, no, just don't. Just
Then you
We
can
don't-
do something
then
about
then you're trying to fix it, and then you're trying to do something about it. So then what are we supposed to do?
it. So then now I have a program of action that leads me into the spiritual solution. So now I get all of my problems solved by the power of God in my life, not just belief, but the power of God in my life, and go through unblocking myself from Him, through going through the inventory, going through resentment, fear, all of those things that actually block me from God, because it proves that I'm playing God. So then the fact that I was drinking or you're drinking or whatever, it doesn't even apply anymore.
So I hope this is okay. I'm going to use a real example that someone talked to me about
Do it.
recently. Saying, I eat obsessively, like before I go to bed. Like it might not be overeating, but I'm like putting things in my mouth and I'm not hungry. I'm going to the kitchen and I'm eating before I go to bed. And they're trying to figure out why.
Mhm.
Is this addiction? Is there like a mental obsession happening here? Like, why am I doing this? So you're saying, stop trying to figure out why. That's part of denial.
At some level, like I think there are some things that we can try to figure out, and that's where we always go to first, and we start, and then we go to therapy, and then we go to this and that and that, and then at some point we have to concede that I'm powerless.
I'm powerless.
And
I'm
I don't have
beyond
to figure
human
that.
aid.
I'm beyond human aid.
I don't have
That's
to
it.
figure
Checkmate.
this out.
God's gonna do it.
God, I need you to fix this.
So that means I need a
your
relationship
help.
with God and live His life that He has out for me. Just like my mom used to lay out my clothes every day before school in the morning. Those clothes, God has a set of clothes for you every day that is victorious. It's a day of victory in His name.
Hmm.
And
So God, lay out my pajamas.
lay out. I want a jammy day.
No, but I'm saying like at night,
At
right?
night, yeah.
Like if this person,
Yeah.
And so we had a conversation around, is there something about, the evening or something, so, and then I just was like, I recognized in that conversation, like, oh, I don't have to try to figure this out.
Yeah. And the issue is that I have to connect to God like I do with donuts or with alcohol, and so that's the program of action that we have. And so you can do that through LifeLab. You can do that through the 12 steps of any 12-step fellowship. And we have our meeting today at noon. Our boy Jordan 5 is speaking on the mental obsession, the part that always brings us back. But the only reason we have that mental obsession is because of a fear. The fear is the igniter of that. And if I never pick up the first one, I never have that problem. But we have this mental obsession. So he's going to discuss that today. Join us on Zoom. And then anything else you want to say?
No. I'm still thinking.
Keep the peace. You have good behavior.
I'm reeling.
And then we'll have a conversation on the car with donuts. All right. Much love.
Thanks for being here.
Keep the peace. Be of good behavior.
Okay, just stop it. This is the
Wash your
longest
hands.
closing ever. We need to practice our closing.